As a business leader, how good are you at predicting success timelines? Unless you're one of 𝗙 𝗂𝗂𝗀𝗏𝗂𝗀𝗃𝗀𝗀 super forecasters, this video may help you. In the words of my wise friend Christina, it takes as long as it should, or it takes as long as it takes. Unless you have extensive experience or working with very similar projects, it's actually not that realistic for you to expect that you're going to have any sort of accurate success forecasting ability. And if in fact you do have really good success with it, it's probably because you've done similar projects. Even if you have done similar projects, unless the market conditions and other things are equal or comparable to where they were before, it's actually quite unlikely that you'll be as accurate in your predictions as you thought. It's essentially a delusion of control. So let's talk about some predictions that experts have made. But first of all, let's talk about Warren Buffett. He bet a bunch of hedge fund managers publicly on a website specifically for this purpose, to call out predictors and say, if you're so good at predicting, put your money where your mouth is. Can't remember the name of it. I'll put it in the description if I can find it relatively easily. Otherwise, I won't. So here's the thing. So he basically bet a whole bunch of hedge fund managers. He said, I predict over the next 10 years that that an indexed S&P 500 index fund will outperform all of your hedge funds. He won. I don't know if you're surprised. Honestly, I'm not. So let me give you another example of the power of prediction. And this is, this comes down to the work of Kahneman and others, who our evolutionary biology really talks to or informs this. We are delusional in our assumption of how great we are at judging things, which our brains were never evolved to judge. The software we have and the brain we have is at least 19,700 and some years out of date for the modern era. So basically, here's what Kahneman said about financial experts. I believe this was in Thinking Fast and Slow. It's been a long time since I've listened to it, but that's what the internet's telling me. I'll take its word for it, sort of. And that is that expert forecasters produce poorer predictions than dart-throwing monkeys. So what he's saying there, in essence, is it's essentially, if you just do a random distribution or random selection, which a dart-throwing monkey would do, you would tend to do better than expert forecasters. So I know you may not be an investor. That may not be the kind of prediction you're trying to make when you're predicting success. But what variables are you using and why do you think they're accurate, unless it's rather not a prediction, but a well-informed estimate based on experience? So call it what it is. It's a scheduled estimate, and that's the best you can do. But instead of, let me give you this choice or an alternative of what you could do with the time you spend making up predictions, which are almost invariably going to be wrong, either too high or too low, because you and everybody else on Earth has bad software and bad hardware for doing exactly that kind of prediction, not to mention the complexity, the unknown variables, and the unknowable variables. So, okay, why don't you do this instead? Focus on something productive, and guessing how long it takes you to do a project is really not productive. It may make the board happy, it may make somebody else happy, but it really doesn't actually help you accomplish the goal. It's a ballpark guess at best. So make a reasonable ballpark guess. Don't spend a lot of time on it because it's almost guaranteed to be wrong. Instead, why don't you just do something far more productive, will actually move the needle closer to actually achieving the success you're predicting the timeline of, and that is I have three things that I've become fond of as variables that are within your control, and that is the choices you make, the actions you take, and the time you bake. And by the time you bake, it means the time you spend taking the actions that you have chosen, which move you in the direction, on the trajectory to your final outcome goal, those process goals which help you achieve those. So, like it or not, your success will take as long as it takes. That's it for Crush It Club, episode 96, How Long to Succeed. My name is Tim B. Green. Bye for now.